Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for a wedding portrait because my friend sexualized me in it? My friend is a painter. I have seen her work and it is beautiful. I asked if she was willing to paint a portrait on me and my husband in our wedding outfits. I thought it would be a good one-year anniversary gift. I have seen her work and she can do realist painting of people. She asked for a reference for this, and I gave her a few pictures and gave a $300 deposit. In total, we agreed on a total of $700. She showed me the painting yesterday. My husband looked great, but I looked completely different. In short, she sexualized me, and I find it so gross. The painting has me with huge boobs. I don't really have any. I'm an A-cup due to running. My wedding dress is showing much more skin. She even added a split to my dress to show off more leg. I don't look like that in any of my photos I gave her. I find it really gross. I told her I will not be paying her, that she needs to fix it or she can keep it. This caused a huge argument. She thinks I am a jerk for not paying and I pointing out the stuff above. It is going around with my friends. Some think I am being petty and others are standing by me. Am I the a-hole for refusing to inherit the family farm and giving it to my younger brother instead? I, 36M, grew up on a big farm that was owned by my family, who worked as farmers for generations. Much to the detriment of my parents, I hated the farm life from a very young age. I never liked dirt or grime, and farm animals were also never my thing. So to no one's surprise, I left the farm when I turned 18 and never looked back. I currently live in a big city. I still love my family very much and visit the farm from time to time, but I'm always the happiest when I return to my urban lifestyle. My mother passed away 3 years ago, and 2 months ago I unexpectedly lost my father due to a work accident. This left my younger brother Tom, 30M, and I as the sole beneficiaries of their estate. I didn't expect to be left with much, since my folks helped me out financially more than enough times while they were still alive. I honestly only wanted a couple of family trinkets and heirlooms to keep as a keepsake. But to my surprise, as my brother and I sat down with the attorney to discuss our father's will, we discovered that I was left with the majority of the farm, about 3/4, while Tom was left with the rest. The only reason I can fathom behind this decision is that unlike Tom, I have 2 children, 10M and 7F, so maybe that's why I was given the bigger share. But I'm not entirely sure since my children had their own inheritance in the will. Either way, this split of inheritance was ridiculous, since unlike myself, Tom actually lived on the farm and dedicated his entire life to working on it alongside our parents. I saw that Tom was also shaken up by the decision, so I reassured him that I found it absurd as well, and I don't mind forfeiting the land to him. Tom said I didn't have to do that, but I insisted. After some back and forth on the topic, we mutually agreed to settle this between ourselves on a later date when everything would be transferred under our names as our parents intended. I recently informed my wife, Jules, 35F, of my decision regarding my inheritance, and she is furious with me for wanting to give most of it up. She is arguing that my decision is impulsive and short-sighted, since the farmland is worth a fortune and I'm just giving it away without a second thought. I told her that the land is worth a fortune only for those who actually intend on doing something with it, and since I neither intend to sell it or farm on it, it's effectively useless to me. Jules continued to say that it might be useless to me, but I should think about our children who might one day want to start farming. I told her in that case I'll transfer only half of the land to Tom, so our children could have a 1/4 of the land at their disposal in the hypothetical scenario they get into farming one day. Jules is now not speaking with me until I reconsider my decision. I need to hear some unbiased opinions to see if I'm in the wrong here. Am I the a-hole for not caring that my boyfriend's parents can't retire? My 26F boyfriend, 28M, and I live in a low cost of living city. Both have good white-collar jobs with decent salaries and should be able to afford a nice life. My boyfriend is an immigrant and had worked very hard to get where he is now in his career, and yet he can't reap any of the benefits. My boyfriend's parents are mid-50s and apparently ready to retire. They live back in his home country where cost of living and taxes are pretty low and are both college-educated professionals who have worked steadily for over 25 years, receiving great salaries. However, my boyfriend's father has made some very poor real estate investments and financial choices over the past decade that have essentially decimated their retirement fund. My partner's parents are now asking that he send them money every month to finance their upcoming retirement. The amount they have demanded, and he has begun sending, is well over half his monthly paycheck. He makes over $5,000 a month, with only $700 in rent and no car, and yet is barely getting by due to the money he has to send back home. Essentially, he is struggling and living paycheck to paycheck with no savings so they can have a comfortable early retirement. Before his parents proposed, or rather demanded, this arrangement, we were planning on buying a house, getting married, and starting a family in the next 2 to 3 years. Now, I have no idea how we can swing that. I work full-time, but make less than my partner and can't finance all of that on my own. I love that my boyfriend cares so much about his family and is so generous, but this is absurdly selfish of his parents in my opinion. We had a discussion last night regarding our future, and he more or less said that this is the way it's going to be, and he'll just have to make more money. While I appreciate his drive, you can't really just make more money overnight. It can take years to climb the corporate ladder to a significant level, and he doesn't even have the money to start some kind of side gig. I think this is partially due to our conflicting cultural values growing up in very different parts of the world, but I'm feeling really upset about this situation. I'm upset that his parents are choosing to watch their child struggle so they can live lavishly, and I'm upset that he is sacrificing or putting our future at risk due to his father's poor investment choices. AITA, am I the a-hole for telling my parents I won't attend their 30th anniversary party if they invite my estranged brother? I, 27F, have been estranged from my older brother, Mark, 33M, for the past 5 years. We used to be close growing up, but our relationship deteriorated when he stole a significant amount of money from me, $25,000. Without going into too much detail, Mark was going through a rough patch and convinced me to lend him a large sum of money, which he promised to pay back within a year. I agreed because he was family and I trusted him, but he never paid me back. When I finally confronted him about it, he blew up at me, calling me selfish and accusing me of not caring about his struggles. It turned into a huge fight, and we haven't spoken since. My parents tried to mediate, but Mark refused to apologize or even acknowledge that he did anything wrong. They've been stuck in the middle ever since, and it's put a strain on our family. Fast forward to now, my parents are planning a big celebration for their 30th wedding anniversary, and they've invited both me and Mark. When I saw the WhatsApp group, I was shocked to see that Mark was included. I called my parents to talk about it, and they told me they're hoping this party could be an opportunity for us to reconcile. They think enough time has passed and that we should stop acting like kids, as my mother said. I was really upset by this. I explained to them that I'm still hurt by what Mark did and that I'm not ready to be in the same room as him, let alone celebrate with him. I told them that if Mark is going to be there, I won't be attending. My parents were disappointed and tried to convince me to reconsider, saying that family is more important than money and that holding on to grudges won't do anyone any good. They said it would break their hearts if one of us wasn't at their anniversary party. Since then, my parents have been distant with me, and I can tell they're hurt. I don't want to cause them any more pain, but I also don't want to be forced into a situation where I have to pretend everything is fine with Mark when it's not. My friends are divided on this. Some think I'm right to stand my ground, while others think I'm being too stubborn and should go for the sake of my parents. AITA for refusing to attend my parents' 30th anniversary party if they invite my estranged brother. Thank you for watching and hit the subscribe button for more.